Hey guys, it's a patient hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to talk about the Ecomi burn mechanic, about the tokenomics of the Ecomi token and why I think it will make you rich in 3 to 5 years time, at least going to $1 or even more. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not a financial advisor, so please do your own research before you ape into Ecomi. Also, if you like this content, please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, as this is the most important thing and helps my channel to grow, and also make sure to tap the bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video or start a live stream. I usually upload 3 to 5 videos per week and also have 1 to 2 live streams per week. The hours might change a little bit according to the drops. But now let's jump into the matter, and we will listen together to Jeremy Padawa at first from an interview that was on the Cavell channel. It is highly recommended that you check out this interview entirely, but listen for yourself.
100 drops and the average drop is 100 million. That's another 10 million. Let's just say you're looking at, on the low end, if the token doesn't move, 50 billion OMI. On the high end, if the token doesn't move, 100 billion OMI. Okay? Using a range, using logic. And you have a 250 million OMI. So it burns the entire reserve in 2.5 to 5 years. And that is math that's based on, if I were working in a financial institution, if I was working as a consultant, or if I'm projecting my future as a business owner, that's math that I would use, and I would feel comfortable using math communicating with other people.
So what Jeremy highlights in that interview, by using some math straight from the head, I want to highlight here with straight numbers. And I want to enter more the tokenomics and the burn than the numbers on when we could reach which burn, because understanding how the burn mechanic works is way more important than some fictitious numbers, because we don't know what exactly will happen with which drop at which time. But see for yourselves. So I have been approached by some of my viewers that were claiming, hey, patient hodler, Ecomi has a market cap of $750 billion. If it goes to $1, it will have a $750 billion market cap by the time, and that would be around Ethereum and Bitcoin, and that is unrealistic and delusional. Yes, if you see it from that perspective and you don't know how these things are split up and the tokenomics work, then you could assume that. So it is true that there is a full, ever available supply of 750 billion Ecomi tokens, but it is not really available to the masses, so it's not a circulating supply. In fact, the Veve app is built around these 3 wallets. We have the reserve wallet with around 250 billion left. It started with 340 billion. Whenever a gem is purchased, the equivalent amount to $1, and I will explain that in the next slide in more detail, the equivalent of that amount is transferred into the Vault wallet, and there represents basically all the gems that were forged out of Ecomi at a specific time, and every gem represents $1. Now, once that gem is spent, and we will look at the scenarios in the next slides, once that gem is spent, this amount will move to the burn wallet, and then there will be forever inaccessible. At the point of making this video, already 27 billion have moved to that burn wallet. None of these 340 billion Ecomi tokens will ever again enter the circulating supply. That leaves us with around 310, I think in fact it's 311 billion of a circulating supply that is still available for buyers on the exchanges and is being held by the founders, by the investors, and even by the little projects that have probably already scooped up some Ecomi for themselves, like Epico Regal, or maybe also Immutable X for the liquidity when listing NFTs on Immutable X. And also there is Token Trove, maybe they have scooped up some as well. So that is actually everything you can get. And then we have 97 billion tokens accidentally locked up in a smart contract error and locked away for, I think, 18,000 years or even 180,000 years, something around that. So they will never appear in the markets in generations of lifetime. And we have that supply here burned, and that for itself is around 125 billion. That is certainly never entering circulating supply, plus this here. So this all together is a supply of 440 billion Ecomi tokens that will never enter circulating supply. The question is, how will this circulating supply reduce? And that is by the drops that are being bought, by the actions on the secondary market. These Ecomi tokens will be forged into gems, move into the Vault wallet, and once the gems are spent, they will move into the burn wallet, or on the secondary market partially move into the burn wallet as we see. So this reserve wallet that currently powers the Veve app will reduce over time, and the only valid method to replenish this wallet is to buy from everyone else on the markets from this circulating supply. But there is more. Stay with me. In the end, it will all make sense. So one fact here is that one gem always equals $1. This will never change. And we can see that throughout the whole Ecomi Veve concept, there is the concept of $1 equals one gem, and that everything is bound on the dollar value and not on tokens or gems. So this has as a consequence that at a price of 1 cent for Ecomi, one gem has to be forged out of 100 OMI tokens to hold a value of $1. Now let's say the price of Ecomi rises to 10 cents, then you would only need 10 OMI tokens to be able to forge a gem. And once the OMI token finally reaches $1, that means that one OMI token will be necessary to forge one gem in the app. So in our analogy, this is at a price point of 1 cent, loading one gem into the app will move 100 OMI from this wallet into that wallet. And on spending one gem in the App Store, this whole 100 OMI will move to the burn wallet. So let's look here, for example, at the example of a blind box purchase in the store. So here we have spent 50 gems, and let's say for sake of maths that the price of one Ecomi is at the moment 1 cent, and that we have loaded up those gems exactly at that price point. So that means our 50 gems are forged out of 50 times 100 OMI tokens. This is loading up. Now we are purchasing on the store and we are spending all the 50 gems. So the full 5,000 OMI tokens are moving into the burn wallet. So every store purchase you make, the whole equivalent of that price of the forged gem is directly moving into the burn wallet without anything ever returning into the reserve wallet or into the circulating supply. Let's look at the second example. There's the secondary market and we have purchased our stamp and now we are selling that stamp again. And we all know that there are fees. So the second one that is occurring is, so let's say our stamp gets listed for 100 gems on the market and someone buys it and spends the 100 gems. Then we have to pay a fee of 2.5%, meaning that 97.5 gems go to the previous owner of the stamp goes to the new owner, and the 2.5 gems go to Veve. Now, every time you have a cash out of a gem, this gem gets broken up and the equivalent amount, so in that case at 1 cent, 250 OMI gets burned. In the case of Marvel collectibles, we have an additional 6% fee, so if that wasn't a stamp but a comic, then we would have 8.5 gems going to cash out. 6 gems to Marvel, 2.5 cents to Veve, meaning that a total of 850 OMI gets burned on every Marvel collectible that is sold for 100 gems in the market. Now you have the two main burn mechanics of the app, but there is more throughout the OMI utility program. So we all know that we will be able to stake OMI in staking tiers. And as I said before, these staking tiers are dollar bound, meaning that you have to stake as much OMI so that in your staking tier there is $1,000 or more that you can lock up. And that means if the price of OMI drops, you might suddenly be not at $1,000 anymore in that first tier, and you have to refill with more OMI so that you can get to the $1,000. Alternatively, you could also see the point that if someone is holding OMI but has not enough, the price rises and suddenly he has more than $1,000 and he can start staking, and that puts a scarcity pressure onto OMI. But that's not the reason why I'm showing you that. The temporary lockups and the scarcity that is coming from the utility program is not the main focus here, but there are more burn mechanics in that. So here is the thing. Apparently you have, according to version 1 of the OMI staking article, you have to wait a time until the staking tier is completed. Now we know that there is an option now to fast track this, but it will cost you 25% of your OMI. So you might think, who would do that? You put in $1,000, you fast track your tier 1, and then you are left with $750. But there might be people that want to go faster to the other staking tiers because there is the drop raffle bound to it, and maybe they see more value in having a higher chance to get some collectibles. Now once you are hitting the fast track and you pay the 25%, so in that sense $250 in staking tier 1, the equivalent amount of OMI gets instantly burned. And this burn is not coming from the reserve wallet, but directly from the wallet of the one that sent it to the web wallet and staked it there, meaning it is a burn of 25% of those $1,000 directly from circulating supply. And now we are finally reducing the 310 billion Ecomi that is there. So $250 in Ecomi, you can do the math at home. If many people do that to get to the other staking tiers faster, then you suddenly have an increasing burn on the circulating supply. But there is more. There is also a breakage fee. Let's say you have staked $1,000 or $5,000 worth of OMI in your wallet, and suddenly the price explodes and you want to sell all your OMI because you see a lot of value in that, but you can't because it's still locked up in the staking tier and you have to wait an additional, let's say 25 days to get it out. You can break it free by burning 10% of it, meaning that would be $100 of the first tier, and you can then move $900 worth of OMI back to the exchange or whatever the amount that is locked up in that staking tier would be at the time. That is another burn from the circulating supply as it is coming out of your $1,000 OMI wallet. And as a fifth case, we have the OMI NFT buyer fee. And we know that there is a seller fee, and for the sake of the functionality of the app, the developers have decided that even if you list your collectible for OMI, you will have to pay the part of the selling fee, so the 2.5 and the 6% if it's a Marvel comic as it is displayed here. You will have to pay that from your gem count. So you would have a normal gem related burn on those 2.5 or 8.5%. But on the buyer side, and as it seems, it is only possible to buy collectibles for OMI tokens in tier 2, tier 3 or higher. We don't know the tier functionalities or benefits yet. There is a 0.5% and in tier 3 a 0.25% buyer fee on the dollar equivalent of that listing when you are buying it, meaning that a comic that is here listed for OMI but in the value of $200 or 200 gems, and you are buying that with your OMI, you will pay an additionally 0.5% on that, which would be exactly $1 worth of OMI, and that would be at the current price still 100 OMI that you would burn from the circulating supply. So that would probably come out of your wallet. So this is coming from the circulating supply, and if you are staking into tier 3, you get even more benefit on that, and then you would only pay $0.50 on the same trade, but you would have more OMI locked up to get those benefits, and that again benefits the price and the price increase by token lockups for a time being. Now you have heard a lot about the burn rates, and you are asking yourself, could that really be all like this? And if we look at the last posts of the OMI Daily Burn channel on Twitter before the migration, because at the moment they cannot post because the migration is still going on, a lot of data is off. If you look at the market cap, for example, the market cap is completely wrong at some exchanges. So you would see here that we have burned in 3 days 103 million OMI, 85 million OMI and 101 million OMI. So that was like January 21, 22, 23. Might be a drop or two on those days. Nevertheless, this is a lot. And if you have occasionally 10 of those days, 1 billion is gone. Now, why am I telling all of this to you? Because what we are seeing with the drops and the involvement, you have to put that into the burn mechanic context, because there is only 1.5 to maybe already 2 million users on the app. The drops have fairly low edition sizes yet, but they might have to increase those over time once you get 5 or 10 million users on board. And they are working heavily on this. I have outlined this in the last videos about Pili, about Pokemon and about the stamps. They are spreading the brand across the world, and it's only a matter of time if there is so many people. And if you look at the 5 cases that I have outlined, primary market, secondary market action, the burn that is occurring per day will only increase and increase, because there are more and more collectibles on the secondary market and more people hunting them, and more gems being loaded up to be spent in the both manners. And then there are all these investors that are getting ready for the drop raffle, for the OMI utility program, and also for the master collector program. Everyone is buying sets up to be able to get more collectibles in the future. And this paired with a massive strategy rollout to the various regions of the world. So we saw them going with a Day of the Dead to the Latino American community. We saw them to go and approach France. We know that Little Prince and Citroën are coming. We saw a massive move to Asia in these days of the Lunar New Year. So if you consider all of this and you look at the burn rates that are occurring at the moment, and you see that this is with 1 or 2 million users, make that times 10 and you have your burns times 10. But that would mean that next year on January 21st, it's not 100 million, it's 1 billion OMI a day. And then you can make the calculation like Jeremy did and say that in 2 to 5 years time, somewhere around that, and maybe even earlier, Veve will have burned through all the supply that they have at the moment here. And by then they will already have to have started buying up large amounts of OMI. And actually, I wouldn't doubt that that is already going on right now, because it would be stupid to wait for higher prices. And there's one more thing to keep in mind. These burn rates at 100 million or even a billion, they can only happen at this price, and they require more users, more drops, and more gems to be spent to stay at that level while the OMI price increases. Because you have seen, if the OMI price increases by 10x, the burn at the same spending rate as we have it would decrease by 10, as you don't need that many tokens to forge a gem. But keep that in mind, because both are increasing, price and the burns. So even if you have a steady burn amount, because the price is always increasing like the burns do, which we don't have because we see the price moving sideways and the burns increase. So you could actually be very happy if you're sitting on a ton of OMI and the price maintains stable for now, because no one sees that basically the drops and all the in-app activity burns away OMI under everyone else's asses, and everyone else on all the exchanges that is waiting to come into Ecomi, they will not have the chance to access a circulating supply that big and with those low prices. Because make no mistake, the burn mechanism is only one factor. We have the exchanges coming, we have other projects coming and locking up OMI, and there will be so many more holders and so much more going on and coming to that token, that I think it's only a matter of a couple of years until every one of you will make life-changing or wife-changing wealth. But with that said, I am already at the end of this OMI God video. I hope you liked the insights. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. What do you think is going to happen with the burns? And if you still think that I am delusional. And also don't forget to tune in into my live stream that I will have tomorrow. We can discuss the burns there as well, and we will dive deeper into the ban topic that suddenly gets more and more fuel, and I think it's important to discuss that as well. And we'll be opening some Pokemon packs, so if you are more of a Pokemon fan, stop by for that as well. But with that said, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video.